Hey guys, Daniel here. So now that I have seen The Strangers Chapter 2, I will be ranking all of the Strangers movies from the worst to the best. So let's get into it. In fourth place, at the very worst, this is a very difficult franchise for me to rank because I love all of these movies. It's going to be The Strangers Chapter 1. I still like this movie enough. It still entertains me, but it just doesn't live up to what I felt like Chapter 2 did and what I feel like the 2008 version and Pray at Night did. I love this entire franchise. I love them all. Chapter 1 is just kind of like a little bit of a weak link in the franchise. And it might be because I'm such a fan of the original, like the 2008 one, that, like, because the 2024 one, Chapter 1, is just a carbon copy of the first movie. I mean, like, beat for beat for beat. And I don't know. I've always been kind of wary on remakes, especially when they take it and they changed the look of the strangers. They changed the couple's names. They changed what the couple was doing. They tried to do a remake with different names and just recreate everything. And that doesn't sit well with me. If you're going to remake something, do it the way it was intended to be done. Do it the original way, the way that it was intended to be done, or don't do it at all. That's how I feel. And also, it was very slow paced. I didn't connect with Ryan and Maya like I did with James and Kristen. And it just wasn't as fun as the other ones because I like to, when I'm watching a movie, I like to root for either the killers or the villains. I mean, the victims or the killers. And in this one, I didn't want either one of them to win. I was just like, it's the strangers. I'm seeing this in theaters. I saw it twice in theaters. I used to love this one. And I don't know. It was just a little disappointing for somebody who's been a fan of this franchise since it began. And so, yeah, last place is going to be The Strangers Chapter 1. In third place is going to be The Strangers Pray at Night. And I love this movie. Like, if the things that I heard about Chapter 2, if I had felt the same way, then Pray at Night would probably be at least number 2 or number 1. Because I love what they did. I always love, instead of having, like, a teen couple have teen siblings, I love that they did that. I love that it had a higher body count. I love that it was a little bit more flashy. A little bit more of like a slasher than a home invasion movie. And I love the chemistry between the cast. They are all like amazing as a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a husband, a wife. They are all amazing in their roles. And like, I'm just like, I don't know. I get to the point where sometimes if I watch something enough, it'll go down on my ranking list. And that's what happened here. I have seen this movie more times than I can count. I still remember the first time I ever saw it was with my cousins. Or no, this was the second time. The first time I remember watching it was with my sister and my cousins. And we were staying at my grandparents' house, which I live in now. And there's my older sister, my older cousin, my younger cousin, and myself. We were all in the bedroom that I sleep in now. And we were watching The Strangers Pray at Night. And my grandparents, I guess they either looked up the runtime of the movie or they were waiting by the door. Because one of them went around to the back and was knocking on the window. The other one was knocking on the door. And it just scared us. Like, it was funny. So that's the first memory I have of The Strangers Pray at Night. But all in all, it's a little more on the disappointing side. But I will always love Bailey Madison in a horror movie. I will always love her. I loved her in Parental Guidance. I loved her in this one. I can't remember off the top of my head anything else I've seen her in, but you know. So yeah, that's my third place is going to be The Strangers Pray at Night. In second place, and I think this is going to surprise a few people, is going to be the original Strangers. I grew up with this franchise. I saw the first one when it first came out back in 2008. I was 5 years old, and my parents had rented it from a DVD store. And I remember I couldn't get through it the first night. I fell asleep. And then I woke up the next morning and watched it by myself. That is one of my first memories with a horror movie. It is also the first time I ever heard Merle Haggard in a movie, or at all, which was Mama Tried. His song Mama Tried was in the scene with Mike. It was the first horror movie I vividly remember watching. And it was with my older sister, my mom, and my dad. And it's one of the few movies I remember watching with my dad. So, like, this is a franchise that I have loved for a decade and a half now. You know, like, it's been out since 2008. I've loved it since then. It's been 17 years. It's hard to believe that it's been that long, but I absolutely do love this movie. Really, any other day it could possibly shoot right up to first. But I definitely love it. I love Kristen and James. I love that the killers have a different mask in this one than they do in the rest of them. I wish they had kept those masks in all of them. But other than that, it's an enjoyable enough film. And like for a first time horror movie person, this would be a really good one to get into, like the dark home invasion, like the gritty, scary movie. And like I showed it to my ex-brother-in-law a couple months ago, and he didn't like it very much, but you know, like he's still a teenager. He's probably not going to like that one. I think it's more of a slow burn, like creepy, unsettling. It is one of the most realistic horror movies I've ever seen, and I love it. I love every second of it. I love everything about it. It is right up my alley, because as a horror fan, I want something that is actually scary and will actually keep you on the edge of your seat. So, in second place is going to be the original Strangers. In first place is going to be The Strangers Chapter 2, the one that just came out yesterday to theaters. In an hour and a half of the movie, there is like maybe 2 minutes of it that I don't like. And I'm not going to spoil anything on here, but when I do my spoiler review and discussion, that is going to be a big thing that I talk about, is that one scene that I do not like. Other than that one scene, I absolutely adore this movie, because I have always wondered every single question I got answered in that movie. Who are the strangers? Who's Tamara? Why are they doing this, really? How do these three people know each other? How did they start? What was their first kill? And yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It was very fast-paced for me. Like, it went by like that for me. It did not feel like an hour and a half that I was sitting in that chair. And I think that's just good direction on the part of Renny Harlin, who also did Die Hard, for those of you that love those movies. This one is probably my favorite movie I've seen this year. And that's saying a lot, because there's some that are older that I'm just now seeing for the first time this year. And I love this movie. There's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion, except for that little bitty, maybe 2 to 5 minutes of film out of an hour and 33. I would definitely love to go and see this one in theaters again. The problem is I don't have a theater close to my house. I have to drive an hour and a half to 2 hours, or ride in the car, I'm sorry. I don't have a license, but I have to ride in the car for an hour and a half, 2 hours to go see a movie, unless it's the theater that's about a half mile from about 30 miles from my house, and they only play kids movies. So Yeah, I definitely love this franchise. It's something that I've always loved and I've always cherished, very, very near and dear to my heart. I bought this T-shirt about 2 years ago, back before these later two came out, back when it was only two movies. This franchise just means a lot to me, like to me and to most of my family. Like my family that are horror fans, I got them hooked on these movies, and I love this franchise. So first place is going to be The Strangers Chapter 2. And there you have it. Over the course of 17 years, The Strangers have had 4 movies about them and a 5th on the way. Like I said, I love this franchise. I've gotten a lot of my family members hooked on it. My mother went and saw both of the later two with me, the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I absolutely love this franchise. It's very, like I said, it's very near and dear to my heart. And that's all I really have to say about it. So thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.